Reporter Mlungisi Khumalo is at the Madadeni Magistrate Court and he joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Mlungisi. Can we please briefly recap on this case?
Good morning to you, Des. Currently, we are at the Madadeni Magistrate Court, where a number of ANC members and supporters of Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba have made their way into the Madadeni Magistrate Court to try and garner support for him. Now, you understand, Des, that in the year 2016, Wandile Ngobeni, the Secretary Youth League of this region, was actually gunned down. And of course, we now understand that early this year, Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba was actually said to be the mastermind. These are just allegations, and we understand now that he's appeared in courts almost over 5 times. Now he is expected to make his way early over here this morning. Now the last time, that's when we were here, his lawyer argued with the states that they had been waiting for the director of public prosecutions to actually give them some documents in order for the case to go forward. Now what can we expect this morning? Well, some legal minds are saying that we will more or less expect a postponement. And also quite interesting enough, yesterday we've been here in Newcastle since the early hours of the morning. We were here to cover the Julius Malema case, and after the Julius Malema case there was also another case over here. Now 2 people were nabbed on Saturday evening, and those 2 people are believed to be the mastermind behind the gunning down of a man named Martin Sithole. Now we understand that Martin Sithole is said to be a key witness in this case, in this murder case that Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba finds himself in. And we also understand that Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba, as we speak to you right now, has been asked by the provincial leadership of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal to take 30-day leave from his office. Now we understand that 30-day leave ultimately comes to an end not long from now, and the big question is, will Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba continue serving as mayor, or will he still continue to recuse himself from his own mayoral activities? Now you also understand that the ANC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal has asked any of its leaders who are facing serious charges to recuse themselves from holding public office, and one of those leaders is Wandile Ngobeni, who happens to be the mayor of eThekwini, and of course Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba. And also we understand that currently as we speak there are divisions within the ANC's Madadeni region. We understand that the ANC Youth League in this area does not get along with the ANC leadership also in this one. So they have been at loggerhead for quite some time. And we also understand that in this area the ANC Youth League in the Madadeni region have been calling for Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba to step down as both as mayor and to step down as the chairperson of the ANC in this region. So the divisions continue to play themselves out in the open. We've got some ANC members over here in the Madadeni region who are holding placards saying that ANC Youth League members are the ones that are corrupt, calling them all sorts of names. And of course, you also remember, Des, that not so long ago, in fact last March to be much more precise with you, Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba made his way into this court. As soon as he came out, he then had an opportunity to address ANC members, and during his address he made some scathing remarks against the police minister Bheki Cele. He called him all sorts of names. He said Bheki Cele was working with his enemies in order to try and dethrone him as being as mayor as well. And in fact he even went as far as saying that Bheki Cele has a personal vendetta, and he still maintains that he's innocent. He still maintains that these allegations that he's currently facing at the moment have been cooked by some within the political space. And of course we had an opportunity to speak to Bheki Cele's spokesperson Reneli Weserero, who puts it categorically clear, saying that Bheki Cele does not have a personal relationship or a personal vendetta against the Newcastle mayor. In fact, Bheki Cele, as the Minister of Police, was trying to establish peace in the area of Madadeni, or rather Newcastle to be much more precise. And also, Tracy, just before I hand over back to you, we also understand as well that not so long ago the mayor of Newcastle called a media briefing in this area as well, where he had a number of documents saying that now that he's taken over as the mayor of Newcastle, he has exposed a number of corruption within this municipality. And because he has exposed this corruption, his detractors are now trying to get him behind bars. And he also named a number of ANC Youth League members in this place, saying that they were the corrupts, and that's the reason why they've accused him of killing the late Wandile Ngobeni in the year 2016. Now, we also understand there's as well that in this place alone in Newcastle, there's been a number of politically related killings, namely the murder of Wandile Ngobeni, and of course Butsanani Shange, as well as Martin Sithole.
You talk about how the mother body is wanting him to come clear, but there's also been so much public support for the doctor. Have you been able to speak to any of his supporters and why they believe he's innocent?
Indeed, we have been able to speak to some of the supporters. I mean, like I mentioned earlier on, there's that currently, as we speak, the ANC Youth League in this region, Madadeni region, and the ANC in this region are in loggerheads. They do not see eye to eye. Some members of the ANC Youth League actually believe that Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba should not be the person in power. And of course, some members of the ANC in this region as well say that we have voted for him. We went into a conference and we voted for him. And you also understand that this region alone was actually disbanded not so long. In fact, when they had their conference, when Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba was elected as the chairperson, a few months later, the ANC in the province disbanded this region, namely because of the murder of Wandile Ngobeni, and of course because of the internal factional divisions that were still continuing to play themselves out in the open. Now, as I speak to you, there are some members of the ANC who are there holding placards saying ANCYL is lobbying for Mafika Mdebele to take over as the ANC's regional chairperson. Now, who is ANCYL? ANCYL is the former ANC chairperson in this region. Now, from our understanding, we also believe that ANCYL is one of those people, of course, who do not get along with Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba. In fact, Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba has also named ANCYL as one of those people who want him behind bars. In fact, we also had an opportunity to speak to ANCYL as well. ANCYL said to us, Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba has a personal vendetta against him and he wants him behind bars. He says this animosity and bickering has gone on since the year 2017. And of course, ANC members over here have come out in their numbers also saying that there is no way we are going to support ANCYL. There's no way we are going to support the ANC Youth League members. And as I speak to you right now, there's the other members of the ANC have also made their way into the courts in their numbers in droves, coming out here to support Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba. And of course, we understand that the ANC's Provincial Working Committee was here not so long ago to try and speak to the branches, telling them that they should come down and allow court processes to play themselves out in themselves and not continue this public bickering and these public spats that are continue to play themselves out in the open, either on social media or in such gatherings over here.
You said yourself that this is the 5th appearance for Dr. Mahlaba. Do we know how far the court process is and what we can expect today?
Okay, we understand that the first time when he appeared and of course he was granted a bail of over 25,000 rand. And of course when he appeared again, the case was then postponed. And the last time when we were here, Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba's lawyer said to the states that they were waiting for letters and documents that were supposed to be issued out by the Director of Public Prosecutions. And of course, we might see those documents today, but we more or less expect a postponement because this case is very far from actually sitting from trial from what we have heard from the actual legal fundis and the legal minds in courts here today. And of course, yesterday there were also a bit improvements in this case. Recall that I mentioned earlier on that there was a man over here who was gunned down in May, to be much more precise. His name is Martin Sithole. Martin Sithole was said to be a key witness in this case. So after he was gunned down, it actually just took a whole complete entire turn. Now yesterday's improvements or yesterday's progress could more or less shed light into this case, and some say this matter could actually be moved either to Pietermaritzburg or could be moved to the Newcastle Magistrate Court. But these are just speculations and we are here to hear more about that.
Of course, we're going to make a comparison between the parallels, the two very significant mayors, Dr. Mahlaba and the mayor of eThekwini, both on special leave. And for both of them, the conversation is whether at the end of that leave, they'll be returning to office or not. What's the sentiment in KZN?
Well, that's a very good question, Des. You know, you recall that in Durban, in the ANC's Ntuthuko region, supporters of the mayor Wandile Ngobeni, who was then the chairperson of the ANC in the Ntuthuko region, have been coming out in droves. They've been coming out in their numbers, marching to the ANC's provincial office, saying that they want to see Wandile Ngobeni reinstated as mayor, even though she's no longer the chairperson of the ANC in that region. Now, we also understand that the ANC in the Ntuthuko region has been disbanded because it has overlapped and it has long outlived its time, and we are expecting a conference to be held somewhere around October. Now, she faces a serious charge of fraud, corruption and money laundering, which dates back to 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Now, you also understand that there was a tender by the Durban Solid Waste which was issued. Now, the forensic team or the forensic investigating team within the Ntuthuko municipality said that there's a number of maladministration when it came to issuing out that tender. And of course, we understand that she was then arrested by the Hawks not so long ago, and she's now out on bail of 50,000 rand. Now, coming over here to the Madadeni region, we've got Ntuthuko Mahlaba, who is facing a murder case, another serious charge. And of course, when the ANC's provincial secretary Ntuli met with the media, he said that they do not want to see any of their leaders who continue to hold office whilst facing serious charges. Now, he went as far as saying that the ANC has been seen as a party which is extremely corrupt and extremely arrogant, and as a party that was not dealing with corruption. So Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba and Wandile Ngobeni were more or less a case study of the ANC, where the ANC is saying we are now cleaning ourselves. Now, you also recall that President Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC president, said that in his new dawn, in this whole Tumamina phenomenon, them as the ANC will ensure that they have no leaders who will continue to serve in public unless their names are clear. And equally, we saw a similar thing with the Deputy President Didi Mabuza, who said that I'll allow the Integrity Committee to clear my name first before I'm sworn in as the Deputy President. And of course, he gave the Integrity Committee that time until his name was clear. So this is more or less a phenomenon which continues to play itself out in the ANC space, where the ANC says our leaders need to be squeaky clean, and we can no longer continue to have leaders of the ANC whose names have been tarnished or who are currently facing serious charges. And this is what we are seeing here at the moment. Wandile Ngobeni and Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba are more or less an example of the ANC, where the ANC is saying that we've got our leaders and we want to ensure that they have to clear their names out in the courts of law first before they're able to hold public office. And they said that during the ANC's election manifesto, they said that this will further continue to ensure that the people have faith within the ANC. They want to ensure that the people see this as the ANC that will clean its name as an ANC which continues to hold its leaders accountable. Now, the 30-day leave comes to an end in a short while for Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba, equally with Wandile Ngobeni. In fact, it's today. Now, the question is, will she occupy her place in office today? It is still yet to know. We are still yet to hear from the ANC. Remember, the 30-day leave does not exceptionally mean that once the 30-day leave has been over, you go back to the office. The ANC has to go back again within its structures and sit down and review this whole entire matter, and then after that make a decision saying that are we satisfied with the reasons that you've given us enough for us not to expel you either from the party or for you not to go back into your office days.
Ntungwa, thank you so much for that update.